Have you ever watched a tiny seed sprout and then, over time, grow into a huge plant? It's this incredible journey of transformation. And in a lot of ways, that's exactly what we're talking about today: adolescence. It's that huge, super important stage of growth and change that takes us from childhood into adulthood. All right, let's dive right into this amazing journey.
I love this image. Just like a caterpillar completely transforms into a butterfly, our own lives have this period of really profound change. This picture just perfectly captures the whole point of our explainer today. Adolescence isn't just about getting a little older, it's a total, natural, and honestly, a pretty beautiful transformation.
So, what exactly is adolescence? Well, officially, it's that window of time, usually somewhere between the ages of 10 and 19, that's like a bridge connecting your childhood to your adulthood. It's not just one single moment, but a whole period of really rapid development.
And that brings us to our first section. This is where the journey really starts to show on the outside. The changes that everyone around us and we ourselves really start to notice. Ha! This is such a classic moment, right? A relative you haven't seen for a bit points out how much you've shot up. Here, Venkatesh is just amazed by the changes in his cousin Devyani, and then she notices them in him too. He's got a new mustache. This one little exchange perfectly captures how those outward physical transformations start.
So this table here breaks down exactly what Venkatesh and Devyani were noticing in each other. You've got that sudden growth spurt, the rapid increase in height and weight, then body structures change. Boys' shoulders get broader, girls develop breasts. New hair shows up in new places. And for a lot of us, so do pimples or acne. These are pretty much the universal signs that the big transformation is officially underway.
Okay, and this right here is a super important point. Everyone's timeline for these changes is totally different. Whether it's your height, your voice, or anything else, your journey is completely unique to you. All these variations are 100% normal. There's no single right way for any of this to happen. All right, so we've talked about all the changes you can see on the outside. Now let's go a little deeper and explore what's happening on the inside, all the internal shifts that are getting the body ready for its next big chapter. The scientific term for this whole biological process is puberty. You can think of puberty as the engine that's driving all these changes. It's the stage where the body matures and develops the ability to reproduce, which is a really significant internal milestone. Now, one of the key internal changes for girls is the start of the menstrual cycle. It is so important to see this for what it is, a totally natural process and a sign of good health. And as you can see here, while the timing and the length of the cycle can be different for everyone, the process itself is just a normal part of growing up. There is absolutely no reason to feel scared or ashamed. It's just biology. Understanding it is the best way to bust all those old myths.
But this transformation isn't just physical, not at all. Those same things we just mentioned that are changing our bodies, they're also cranking up the volume on our emotions, which can feel just as new and intense as everything else.
Does this question hit home? It's so common during this time to feel like you're in a storm of different emotions, sometimes all on the same day. It can be exciting, confusing, and maybe a little overwhelming all at once. If you feel this way, trust me, you are definitely not alone.
So how do you deal with this whirlwind? Well, this slide shows some brilliant ways to actually channel these new, strong feelings. Those mood swings, they can become amazing fuel for sports or music. Feeling extra sensitive? That can be a superpower for creativity and figuring out who you are. And that new sense of compassion? You can turn it into action that makes a real difference in the world. Okay, so we've covered the big physical and emotional shifts, and it can feel like a lot to manage. So, how do you take charge and make this journey a healthy, even joyful one? Well, that brings us to our next section, a practical guide to thriving. And here it is, your 4-step toolkit. Think of this as your personal guide to fueling your body, taking care of yourself, navigating the social world, and making smart, independent choices. Let's walk through each one. First up, fuel. Your body is doing a mind-boggling amount of work right now, and it needs the right building blocks. Proteins and carbs give you energy. Calcium, which you find in things like milk and cheese, is absolutely essential for your bones. And iron, from foods like spinach and beans, is super important for your blood. A balanced diet isn't just a good idea, it's non-negotiable. Step 2 is all about personal hygiene. And this is about more than just being clean. It's about protecting yourself from infections. And as we see here, for girls, good menstrual hygiene is key for both health and comfort. It's really on all of us to make sure things like sanitary pads are easy to get and that there's zero stigma attached. Step 3. This is a huge one in today's world. Connecting responsibly, especially online.
You've got to be smart with your personal info, and it's important to know what cyberbullying is. If you ever face it, remember this critical point. You are not helpless. Reach out to a parent, a teacher, or any other adult you trust.
And now for maybe one of the most powerful tools in your entire toolkit, the ability to just say no. This is all about taking control of your own health and your own future.
I mean, the slide lays it out pretty clearly, right? On one side, you have addictive substances that can really harm your physical and mental health. On the other side, you have the simple but incredibly powerful choice to say no. Your health is literally in your hands, and that is the ultimate form of empowerment.
And remember, help is always there. If you or someone you know is struggling, this National De-Addiction Helpline is a great resource that can offer support and guidance. You're never alone in this.
So, as we start to wrap this all up, let's go back to the why. We've seen the physical changes, we've talked about the emotional shifts, but what's the invisible force that's connecting everything together?
The answer is hormones. The easiest way to think of them is like tiny chemical messengers that are zipping around your body, telling it that it's time to grow and change. They regulate literally everything, from how tall you get to how you're feeling. They are the directors of this whole show.
And that brings us to the end. You see, the changes of adolescence, they're universal, they're driven by our biology, but the experience of it, the journey itself, that is uniquely yours to create. With the right knowledge and a toolkit of healthy habits, you are the one in the driver's seat. So the final question is really for you to think about. What choices will you make to shape your journey?